Look around you. Look at the vast majority of men who claim they want success, freedom, and power. But then, look at their hands. They are holding the very tool that keeps them enslaved, the smartphone. Your phone is not just a communication device, it is a chemical delivery system designed by the world's smartest minds to keep you permanently hooked on instant gratification. It has robbed you of the most valuable, non-renewable resource you possess, your attention span. You, the lone wolf, feel this brokenness deep inside. You try to sit down and work on your mission, but your mind rebels. It jumps from one tab to the next. It craves a notification, a quick video, a sudden burst of sound. You can barely focus for 10 continuous minutes without feeling that irresistible itch of boredom. This is not a weakness of character, it is a biological consequence. Your brain has been systematically overstimulated by constant, easy pleasure, leaving your attention span fragmented, broken, and held captive by an invisible chemical leash. Today, for the Solitude Scroll, we are declaring war on this dependency. We are not just talking about putting your phone down, we are implementing the Dopamine Detox, a surgical, strategic intervention designed to reset your brain's reward system, reclaim your focus, and restore your internal sovereignty. This is the Dopamine Detox, the only way to fix your broken attention span. We will give you the science, the strategic blueprint, and the long-term system to ensure your attention, your focus, and your energy are permanently dedicated to your purpose, not your phone. Phase 1. The diagnosis, the chemical enemy. Before you can win a war, you must understand your enemy. The enemy is not the app, the enemy is the chemical reaction inside your own skull. We must dive into the science of dopamine to understand exactly how your attention span was broken. The science, dopamine and the broken baseline. Most people confuse dopamine with pleasure. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical, it is the anticipation chemical. Dopamine is released before you engage in a rewarding activity, it is the motivation, the drive, the powerful urge to click, eat, or scroll. When you engage in a natural, high-effort activity, like lifting weights, finishing a chapter of a book, or completing a complex business plan, your brain rewards you with a moderate, sustainable level of dopamine. This is the natural baseline of reward. The modern world has corrupted this baseline. Instant gratification activities, scrolling TikTok, eating junk food, watching fast-cut video, release a massive, unnatural spike of dopamine quickly and easily. This spike is so huge that your brain immediately says, "Why should I do the hard work, the mission, when I can get 100 times the reward just by opening an app?" The consequence is devastating. Your brain adapts to this unnaturally high reward level by lowering its dopamine baseline. Now, the moderate, healthy rewards of discipline, deep work, and building your future feel boring, dull, and uninteresting. Your mission becomes chemically unsatisfying. Your attention span snaps because it can no longer tolerate the necessary, quiet effort required for real achievement. The enemy, the high-dopamine diet. Your broken attention span is a direct result of being on a high-dopamine diet. This diet includes any activity that provides maximum reward for minimum effort. Social media and short videos, endless, unpredictable new content. The random reward is highly addictive. Binge watching. Maximum visual and auditory stimulation with zero intellectual effort. Processed sugar and junk food, an unnatural chemical reward that shortcuts the body's natural hunger cycle. Compulsive gaming, immediate feedback and status rewards. The man who consistently feeds his brain this diet is incapable of focused, deep work. He is a chemical slave to instant gratification. The only way to restore the baseline and fix the attention span is to starve the addiction. Phase 2. The Detox Blueprint, the surgical strike. The dopamine detox is not a gentle suggestion, it is a strategic, surgical intervention. It is a temporary period of extreme deprivation designed to force your brain to reset its baseline and make the moderate rewards of discipline attractive again. The goal is to increase your tolerance for boredom and quiet effort. The setup, non-negotiable rules of deprivation. This must be a 24 to 48-hour period. You decide the duration. Of near absolute deprivation. The rules must be strict and non-negotiable, enforced with the certainty of the lone wolves in a scorecard. 1. 0 instant stimulation, absolutely no consumption of content designed for passive enjoyment. This means, no social media, YouTube, or news. No binge watching, movies, or TV. No listening to music or podcasts, unless absolutely necessary for a task. No compulsive gaming. 2. 0 artificial pleasure. Absolutely no consumption of easy, chemical pleasure rewards. This includes no junk food, processed sugar, or energy drinks. No recreational drugs or alcohol. 3. Maximum friction, move all digital distractions out of sight and out of easy reach. Put your phone in a drawer, turn off Wi-Fi, and work in a Spartan, distraction-free environment. The activities, embracing the void. Since you are eliminating all easy pleasure, you must replace that time with activities that provide low, sustainable dopamine release, the kind that restores your natural baseline. You must learn to tolerate the void. Low dopamine work, simple, repetitive, high-effort tasks. Cleaning, organizing, doing taxes, working on the most boring part of your mission, intense physical labor. Reflection and strategy. Journaling, reading a dense book, meditating, practicing Stoic philosophical techniques, like premeditatio malorum. Socialization, only high-quality, intentional, face-to-face conversation that requires effort and genuine presence. The psychological breakthrough, confronting boredom. The core of the detox is confronting boredom. When you eliminate instant pleasure, your mind will scream at you. It will tell you the task is meaningless, you are bored, and you deserve a reward. This is the moment of your sovereign test. You must recognize that the feeling of boredom is not a signal to stop, it is a withdrawal symptom. It is the chemical enemy fighting back. By simply tolerating the boredom and continuing the low dopamine work, you are physically repairing your attention span and winning the war for your mind. Phase 3, the Stoic reframing, reclaiming control. The physical act of detoxing is useless unless you have the philosophical structure to support it. The Stoic reframing turns the effort of detox into a fundamental act of self-sovereignty. Technique A, the dichotomy of control, the only focus. Social media anxiety is fueled by focusing on the uncontrollable, other people's opinions, their curated success, and the next unpredictable notification. The Stoic knows that true power lies only in the dichotomy of control, the things that are up to us. The uncontrollable, the endless feed, the number of likes, the success of your competitor. Ignore. The controllable, the time you dedicate to your mission, the effort you put into your work, the judgment you choose to make about your own self-worth. Focus 100% here. The detox is a physical manifestation of the dichotomy of control. You are physically removing the uncontrollable from your environment, so your mind has no choice but to focus on the controllable, your work. You replace the feeling of external dependency with the quiet command of internal control. Technique B. Premeditatio malorum, rehearsing the cost of inaction. Anxiety about the detox is fear of missing out, FOMO. You must use premeditatio malorum, rehearsal of evils, to reframe this fear. The question, what is the worst possible outcome if I miss 48 hours of social media? I miss some unimportant news, a meme, a friend's casual update. The contrast, what is the worst possible outcome if I don't detox? I lose another year to a broken attention span, I fail to execute my mission, I live a life full of potential but zero achievement. By confronting the greater cost of inaction, the ruin of your future self, the fear of missing out on a few hours of scrolling instantly becomes meaningless. You realize that the true risk is not the detox, the true risk is staying exactly where you are. Phase 4, the permanent system, the sovereign focus. The detox is a surgical strike, it resets the baseline. But the attention span will break again unless you install a permanent system that replaces the addiction cycle with an automated structure of discipline. This is how the lone wolf maintains his sovereign focus. Strategic Habit 1: Environmental automation, friction and ease. Never rely on willpower to maintain focus, rely on environmental design. Increase friction for bad habits, make the choice to scroll difficult. Move all social apps into a folder buried deep in your phone settings. Install website blockers that require a long, difficult password. Force yourself to use a desktop browser for social media access, not your phone. The sovereign man increases the distance between himself and his weakness. Increase ease for good habits, make the choice to work easy. Have your workspace preset, your tools ready, and your mission objective clearly written before you go to sleep. Use the 2-minute rule if starting the habit takes less than 2 minutes, e.g. opening the coding document, do it immediately, regardless of motivation. Strategic Habit 2: Schedule deep work blocks, the unbroken hour. Your healed attention span needs time to stretch its legs. You must commit to schedule deep work blocks, non-negotiable periods where your focus is completely protected. The command, schedule 60 to 90-minute blocks dedicated entirely to one single, high-leverage task. During this time, the phone is off, the door is closed, and you are operating under a state of energetic autonomy. The rule of the unbroken hour: the goal is the quality of the focus, not the output. If you successfully maintain focus for the full hour without caving to distraction, you have succeeded. This practice rebuilds your cognitive endurance. Strategic Habit 3: Low-dopamine reward system, the new currency. Your brain will always seek reward. You must deliberately replace the instant, high-dopamine rewards with low, sustainable ones. Replace sugar with complexity. When you complete a hard task, reward yourself not with a sugary treat or a scroll break, but with a low-dopamine break, a short walk, a few minutes of meditation, or 5 minutes of complex reading. The inner scorecard reward, your ultimate reward, is the completion of the habit, the alignment with your sovereign identity. The feeling of self-integrity becomes the most powerful chemical reward. Conclusion: reclaiming your sovereignty. Your broken attention span is not a flaw in your character, it is a liability that the modern world is exploiting to steal your time and your potential. The dopamine detox is not a trendy diet, it is a strategic act of warfare against the forces that seek to control your mind. It is the necessary surgical strike to reset your baseline and allow the moderate, sustainable rewards of discipline to feel satisfying once again. The sovereign man is the master of his attention. He is not ruled by the fleeting chemical demands of his phone, he is ruled by the unshakable principles of his purpose. If you are ready to stop being a slave to instant gratification and reclaim the focused, quiet power of the lone wolf, then it is time to make a commitment. Hit that like button, subscribe to the Solitude Scroll, and drop a comment below and tell me, are you ready for the 48-hour detox, or will you start with the 60-minute morning lockout?